I will just say that I'm very happy to be here, that I have been to a few conferences lately with regard to short food supply chains, and that I very much like and appreciate hearing from the field and also hearing from the researchers because this is one of the main sources, in fact, of information that we are having, besides the information from the member states and the information from the stakeholders. So it's for us always a learning event if we can participate at conferences. I'm working in a unit that is dealing with agricultural quality policy. And agricultural quality policy this year celebrates 20 years, and it's focused on geographical indications, so protected names of food. And now you will ask me, where do the short supply chains come into this story of geographical indications? So about 3-4 years ago, there was a need to renew the quality legislation. And at the time, the European Commission put in place impact assessment process. And in that process, it came out that notably small-scale farmers have difficulties with entering into quality systems, in the quality schemes, for various reasons. But the main reason is that these schemes are usually linked with certification, with costs, and that many producers, notably small-scale producers, are not able to meet the costs of certification. And at that time, the Commission has written down that it will continue analyzing the issue of small-scale farmers from the point of view that these farmers may have a certain quality product, however, they fell through the net that is there, through the net that is established by quality schemes. And this is how about 3-4 years ago the work with regards to local food, if I may so say, started. It started first from the angle of small-scale farmers, which was already earlier mentioned today. And it was later broadened, and I could say also the focus has changed to what now officially is called local agriculture and direct sales. But this is the work that comprises everything from local food, short food supply chains, including direct sales, to local food systems and local supply mechanisms. And in this process, we have consulted several instances, being the member states, being the stakeholders, and we have asked for a study. Why are we doing all this? Because if we want to propose something, an instrument, a tool, firstly we need to understand and we need to know what's going on in the field. And we have started with a questionnaire for member states and for stakeholders, and then we have prepared the call for tender for a study, which was finally awarded to Moya and her team, and was presented earlier on. So this study, this was an excellent job from the point of view that it gave us really an insight into what the short food supply chains and local food systems are, how do they manifest, how have they developed, and where we are today. What we are still lacking, and this is maybe a hint for further research, is, which was also already mentioned as well today, is the hard evidence, as we call it. So the difficulty in really understanding and being able to make projections is that the figures are lacking. There are no definitions of local food, no definitions of short food supply chains. If there are no definitions, meaning you don't have something to measure. So there is very few quantitative data, and from this point of view, there are still lacunes and there are still issues that we would like to know better. It was said before that this is a niche and will probably stay a niche. What we know is that in some member states it would represent about 2 to 3% of the agricultural market, that in the best performing member states, best performing I mean from the point of view that, that they have the highest share, that would be up to 10%, but we know that in those member states it is also projected that it will not raise. So it might really be limited, and it might stay a niche product. While in some member states it is also well below 1%. 2–3% is in the member states where they are quite developed, up to 10% in one or two examples where it represents an important share. So short food supplies have always existed, but there is a renewal in the last 20 years and especially last 10 years. We understand this as a consumer response mostly to what was going on the global food market and what was going on with regards to food hygiene crisis and mislabeled products, as for example lately the horse meat scandal. And we see this also as a consumer reply to certain consumer concerns with regards to economic development, with regards to environmental issues like carbon footprint or food waste issues. And we see also this as a reply of consumers with regard to the fact that social responsibility has become an issue. So it is something that has not been discussed 20 years ago. From the point of view of policy making, of course, we are looking at possible benefits of short food supply chains. I will now use mostly the expression of short food supply chains or short food chains. But as I have said, it is more than that. It is much more than that. It is about local food systems and local food, and not only about short food supply chains, because for short food supply chains, one is looking rather on the distribution side and on the fact that there is a limited number of intermediaries. So we are also working with this concept, but we are not forgetting that this is not all about local food. And we are looking at the benefits. I don't have now time to go in the benefits, but we are looking at the benefits from the farmer's point of view. For a farmer, surely short food supply chains would mean less intermediaries, would potentially mean better margin of the final sales price, and hence potentially higher income and an opportunity to diversify and to create also non-agricultural activity, which might be a solution and a way forward for some farmers. For consumers, I have also already mentioned that the benefits for them are coming from the point of what they believe they can get from sourcing locally. So for the consumers, it's more the issue of sourcing locally than the issue of short food supply chains. They are more interested in getting food from somewhere close. They are maybe not so much interested as in cutting the number of intermediaries. Having few intermediaries is probably more the point of view of the farmer. But I'm not saying that it's exclusively. There are, of course, also consumers who would like to buy directly or buy from maximum one intermediary. And finally, we are looking at the benefits for the local community as a whole. So not only farmers who are producing, not only consumers who are buying, but also those who are living in the area where the activity is happening, as we consider that there may be some multiplying effects and some spillover effects from these activities. So also on those who are in between distributors, but also on other activities that are linked to the primary agricultural production. If we are looking for possible policy instruments, we are looking from the point of view of maximizing these benefits. Of course, we can always discuss whether public support is the correct way to maximize such benefits or not, but this I can leave for a debate or for later discussions. What is important for what we are working on is also that other public bodies, or especially European bodies, have seeing importance in short food supply chains and have in fact called on the Commission to do something. We have seen the reports from the European Parliament, not dealing directly with the issue of short food supply chains, but when dealing, for example, with the issue of food or perspectives for food in the future, or when dealing with the CAP reform. In these reports, it has been explicitly mentioned the issue of local systems and short food supply chains, and that the Commission should investigate the issue and possibly provide some tools for promoting such systems. And for example, the Committee of the Regions has called on the Commission directly that the Commission should provide for a label and for a logo for local food systems. So this is a bit the framework in which we work and why we are doing all this, and also the way how we are doing it. I have mentioned we have gained a lot of knowledge from the study of Moya and her colleagues. Also, we have held for 2-3 years now, we have held discussions with member states all together or bilaterally with stakeholders. We are working with 6 main groups of stakeholders. So with producers, with representatives of the employees in agriculture, with in food industry, with traders, with the consumers, and with environmentalists. So we have also got their feedback to the issue of short food supply chains and local food systems. And we have also created a special expert working group who is consulting us on now, if I get a bit more concrete, on whether to have a label for short food supply chains or not. And Moya has explained that also the study has looked into this. It was our wish that the study would look into this so that we get an opinion from there. Now, the idea is that the Commission should present a report whether there should be a new labeling scheme. So me personally, I'm working on the issue of a label. I'm not working on the issue of financial support to short food supply chains or rural development measures that could help short food supply chains. However, if we want to come to an idea and to write a report and to make some conclusions whether a label would be needed, we need to know all the subject, all the issue. That's why we are looking to all aspects of the question. What I would like to say is that in rural development area, there have always been measures that could be helpful also to the development of short food supply chains. For example, there has always been investment on agricultural holdings. Through this, it would be possible to invest into opening a farm shop. or that has always been measured education and training of farmers. Through this, it would be possible that the farmers would get knowledge about how to engage in short food supply chains, or maybe some marketing knowledge or other type of knowledge that is needed if a farmer wants to be also a seller. But the new Common Agricultural Policy that has just been politically agreed last week in Brussels is providing for new tools specific for short food supply chains, which has not existed until now. There will be two, broadly, there will be two new possibilities. One is the possibility, so for the period 2014-2020, Member States will be now preparing their rural development programs. It will be a possibility that there will be a sub-program in the rural development program that will be done for the purpose of supporting short food supply chains. What is the idea? The idea is, firstly, that Member States would make their analysis, and if they would consider that short food supply chains is something to be further developed and to be supported, that these Member States will create a sub-program. In this sub-program, they will put those measures that are particularly targeting the development of short food supply chains. And the measures, they are altogether around 40, and they are those that are in general used for rural development programs. There are not new specific measures, but a member state can say, okay, I will have a rural sub-program for short food supply chains. In this sub-program, I will put measures that specifically focus short food supply chains, like training of farmers, like investments on agricultural holdings, like investments in the equipment that is needed for processing on the farm in order to, or like the measure support to quality schemes, because why not supporting quality schemes in order that there would be more farmers included in the quality schemes, who could then also benefit from selling this through short food supply chains, etc. What's the benefit? The benefit, what's the aim of creating such a sub-program, is that the co-financing rate is higher, 10 percentage points, which means that the member states needs to add less national money to, for such a sub-program. And the other thing that will be possible from the period 2014-2020 is a new measure which is called cooperation. In this measure, there are two specific activities for short food supply chains. One is support to vertical and horizontal cooperation in order to establish short food supply chains, and especially the platforms that will link the producers and the consumers. And the other one is promotion activities about short food supply chains. So these are two new elements that have not existed before. They will exist in the new programming period for the period until 2020. Of course, something that I always have to underline, it is the member states who select the measures. It is possible that a member state will not decide for a short food supply chain sub-program. As well, it is possible that the member state will not select the measure cooperation and will hence nothing what I have explained now will be in the rural development program of the member state. Finally, I would like to say something on the label. With regard to the label, it's quite an interesting debate, I must say, a very interesting debate. If I have started from the point of view that we have said that small farmers, they might have a quality product, or that consumers might consider that their product might have certain qualities, but that they seem to fall through the net that is there. From this point of view, we are also now looking at the possible labeling. What we are saying is that a farm product produced by the farmer, processed, if it's processed product, processed by the farmer, from the raw materials that are from the farm, such a product has certain characteristics, and that certain consumers might find quality in these characteristics. And this is our starting point for developing a label, for saying what the label would be for. So what we are thinking, and this is how we have done, I have told you, we have had expert group, we have had many discussions. We were told, if you are considering a label, you should first know where the label will be put on. It will be put on a product. A label is for a product. So you have to define the product. So our work is on defining this product. This product should be sold in short food supply chains, because we would like to create a label for something that is sold in limited area. We have not gone into defining local. It was already said how this is difficult, let's say already in one country, not to mention how this might be difficult in the European Union. We are rather working from the concept of short food supply chains, because that is possible to define. So what we are considering is providing a label to a farm product with the definition behind what is a farm product, which is sold in short food supply chains. It is, as I have said, very complicated. It is already very complicated to come to the point of what will the label be for. It is even more complicated in finding a term. What should be the label, the name? Which name? Because this name will have to apply in 23 languages, and it will have to say something to the consumers in 23 languages. We asked the member states, we asked the stakeholders, we even asked the public what would be the name. We received 300 proposals over our website, but we are still thinking about it. As we are thinking about all the concepts, this is not a done deal. This is something we are working on, and we would like to develop, but there are still many open questions, and we'll see how we go forward. What is sure is that there will be a Commission report on the possibility to have a new labeling scheme, because this report is requested in the regulation. It has to be published by 3rd of January next year. Whether along with this report or after this report there will be also a label, that's an open question. But this is also a question that I can ask here. What do you think about a label for such products at European level? Thank you very much for your attention.